I'm following along with Ann Taylor's questions again from the 4th and 5th motions to compel hearing. And listening to it this time, I picked up on something else.
Line that starts there. However, I would direct you to the paragraph at the beginning of the map that says this is a possible route to travel between the two locations.
So you're just not sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That would include then Highway 95 south of Moscow.
Yes, ma'am. What?
And that would include other possible routes.
Yes, ma'am.
How many video surveillance attempts did you make to get video from businesses or homes on all of those routes?
I do not recall, but it continued for some time, attempting to find additional video footage.
What did you find?
Nothing to my recollection.
Not one video depicting the car?
To my memory, no.
And is asking Payne where the video surveillance is on 95. She wouldn't be asking that if she doesn't have video of the car on 95. But Payne says, to his knowledge, all of the evidence has been turned over to the Moscow Police Department evidence locker. Makes me question, is there documentation, and in this case, the documentation would be video, to support the allegations, Payne's statements in the probable cause affidavit?
I want to talk a little bit more about the video and what's been turned over and what hasn't been turned over to us. And I want to focus a little bit on South US 95. Do you recall that south of Moscow on US 95 is the path that you put in your search warrant and affidavit alleging that Mr Kohberger left Moscow going south on US 95?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are you aware that one of the videos that you gave us, the coffee shop there on South 95, that leaving Moscow, you'd have to pass that covers 5 a.m. to 6 a.m.?
I do not recall the time frame for that.
And so the time frame in these videos would matter, right?
Certainly.
The time frame in the videos, to be meaningful, would need to cover a time that surrounds the allegations against Mr. Kohberger. Is that fair to say?
You could say that, yes.
Okay. And are you aware that Watson Kari Construction had a video, and that also has a very limited time frame, like 5 a.m., just 1 hour of video also?
Sounds vaguely familiar, yes.
And that's also south on Highway 95. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And the one we talked about today, Monday's machine that nobody could find, that clearly was given to Moscow Police Department, that's also south on 95.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I understand that you had a lot of help on canvassing and collecting things. There was a lot to do. But as the lead agent and the lead department, is there some kind of inventory of these videos, like a general inventory that would help me know what you have and why you don't have the relevant time frames?
The inventory that would be most useful to you is the inventory of evidence that has been booked into the Moscow Police Department. That's the inventory.
And I did come see the evidence. That's fair. I did come see the evidence. We didn't watch videos together, though, did we?
No, ma'am.
And would you agree that that evidence is on thumb drives with stickies on papers that tell us different things, but not like an inventory of what's on each thumb drive?
I am not aware of an inventory of each individual thumb drive.
Okay. So for us to do that together would take some days to inventory it all together. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's my best way to try to find this Monday's machine.
Sure.
And Watson Kari Construction.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's it. Thanks.
All right.
Anne is asking Payne, where's the video that matches up with your statements in the probable cause affidavit? And Payne says he didn't see the car on video. And if there were the car on video, that would have been turned over. It would be in the Moscow Police Department evidence locker. Do you think this could be the Frank's material? Yeah, like I know, it might seem completely crazy, especially with all this mainstream media coverage of this case. It's almost like the mainstream media would never even allow a thought like that or a statement. So I'm trying to forget everything that mainstream media has said and strictly look at what's going on in court. So there might be many who dismiss a statement like that, but then, I know there's others out there that don't dismiss that. They can see beyond. There's a lot of you out there that can see beyond the mainstream media, which is exciting. Not be that crazy after all. I mean, we know something's wrong with this case. We just don't know quite what. And what if it is simple? That the mainstream media's role was to distract from the straightforward, obvious questions. And do you have the documentation for your allegations?